not right, especially. What happened? No, I don't like it.
You don't like
And then
marches?
after, no, I don't like it. And then after that,
Why don't you like the marches?
the people must go. And then after that, we have children from the foreigners. And then after that, the foreigners must go. Who's going to support the child? I can't support the child alone. So the foreigners must go. So it's better. Take the foreigners, take the child with the foreigner, with him.
It seems no one wants to associate with Jacinta and the March and March movement anymore. The very people she claims to be fighting for have publicly denounced her, saying, "We don't want you to chase foreigners away. We have children with them, and if you force them out, who will help take care of our kids?" Dear viewers, welcome to today's podcast. As the day for the planned protest approaches, many South Africans are beginning to reconsider their support. If you still stand with Jacinta, please hit that like button, share this video so everyone can see it, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. If you are in support of Jacinta, type "Go Jacinta" in the comment section below. Let's show her some support during this trying time. Jabulani, roll the clip.
Migration. Abantu umuntu uhleze ecinga impilo engcono ukuphi la ngathola khona amadlela ahlaza ukuthi umndeni wami uphile bakwethu. Ngizonicela maZulu sizoselembe lingachitheki igazi ningabashayi laba bantu bazisho ukuhlupheka la njengoba nathi sihlupheke lo isato nami ngiyahluphekela nawo hluphekele ngakuthini-ke mina ngoba sisuthi izohlupheka so yingakho sikule nkinga esikuyo namhlanje kodwa akusho ukuthi bese sibashaya ngakhuluma mina nophakela umthakathi nongizwe amuzukushawa umuntu akekho umuntu ufuna ukuza ubuhlungu angazi noma kumele ngikhulume ngayo le yoga le esihlangane angazi ulimi le yoga likhulunywa kanjani futhi umuntu angifuna uphakamisa umlenze ukwenze njani. It's an international language angithi asebenzise yona le yoga le because it represents peace and us. Bantu bakwaZulu senikhohle ukuthi siphuma plus siphuma khona thina izolo lokhu nikhohliswa ukuduza ufaka isiteki swethu uvela udawu ubunandi umbuso uyadakala seniyabusa manje sinifaka ezikhundleni sinivotele lapha ukuthi niyodla imali asiyifuni yonke lento eyenzakala kuleli lizwe asiyithandi asiyipromote angizile kodwa ukukhuluma lezo zinto lokho ngicela ukukhuluma ulimi lweyoga ngesizulu notolika ngesiyoga nina ngicela niyiphathe kahle akho umuntu othe uzoniphucisa inkwaseni emlonyeni angithi ningabala manje ngabalapha ubani ozonithinta manje ngasho nje ngathi asinayo indawo thina singabeka khona amaNigeria asinayo ngisho inkambu ngisho ihlathi ukhomba ukuthi awungibeka eduze kwaleli yahlathi cha leli yahlathi Narensing, are you listening to me? Leli yahlathi siyibeke ilime lodwa alakhelwa ilokho ke nangimphathi wami seyangishaya kanti isiphishi sami lesisidanyana ngithe ukukhuluma kodwa ngicela ukuba ngikhulume ngoba ngezinto ezenzakalayo futhi okwesibili ongarejistanga izolo ukuyovota engakhali izinto mase ihamba ngo-left hawu akusahambi ngendlela yami mina awuyanga nje ukuyovota ukuthi ufaka ilento yakho thulayo umuntu ongavoti mina ngokwami ngimthatha ukuthi akangeni ukuthi izwe libuswa kanjani ngoba unqabile ukuyovota ngathi hambani niyoregister ukuvota nina ukuze kuzwakala uvule izikhalo zakho uyebeka lapha nofa ilula lenifaka nje isiphambano qhumhanga yinkinga cha ngabesilo ngenxa yesikhathi. You know, Ishwa, you told me to stop by 11. Now it's going for 12. I think Premier Dube took most of my time. Ngiyabonga kakhulu nabesilo. Asijime. Nina bamakamera ngenifuni ngakimi ningezi ngakimi ngoba angikwazi ukudonsa umlenze kanje. Nizosendela ku Premier wami lapha nomphemba nimbona ukuthi ustretcha kanjani. Ngalamazwi, thank you so much, the city of Durban, for hosting this event. This is my home. And people of Durban, Phoenix. Is Phoenix in the house? Oh, they're tired and hungry. It's lunchtime. Ngiyabonga nabesilo. Indlula mithi. Isiyanqamula manje kodwa bengaqedi kodwa sothulana khona unye umcimbi ozoba khona. When's the next event, Ishwa, where I can finish your speech?
Even King Misuzulu has joined them. He said, and I quote, "Please do not attack undocumented foreign nationals. Many of them are in South Africa because of poverty in their home countries." At this point, Jacinta is clearly losing the fight. Jabulani, roll the clip.
I think we need to have a platform where a lot of South Africans are able to visit on tourism to most parts of the continent. Because sometimes we take it for granted what we have in this country. The access to education, the access to healthcare, a number of things. But also, I believe we can learn a lot in terms of running small businesses, entrepreneurship, just by visiting some of the parts of the continent where you see the drive, and that can further help us to exchange knowledge and views.
Minister Ronald Lamola is singing a completely different tune. While others are debating whether or not to suspend the June 30th protest, he is encouraging South Africans to start traveling to other African countries. He is saying the exact opposite of Jacinta. While Jacinta tells other Africans to go back home, Minister Lamola is urging South Africans to explore the rest of the continent. Julius Malema has also taken a swipe at Jacinta, and I think at this point, she must be going through a lot. It really seems like she is all alone in this battle. It's Jacinta against the world. Jabulani, roll the clip.
Well, it's a very bad image for our country, which we thought the ad hoc committee and Madlanga Commission would have tried to put some sense of stability so that people don't act in a reckless manner, which leads to the destabilization of the country. For instance, we've got a threat that is being made about the 30th of June. Instead of focusing on things like that so that we plan properly, and as policemen and women who are high-ranking in the force, planning properly amongst other things will mean that we have to trust one another. But if we are going for each other the way they are doing, there will be a level of mistrust, and when there's a level of mistrust, the enemy will infiltrate and destabilize our country. So we think that there ought to be a decisive action, and I believe there was some kind of intervention yesterday when Khumalo was supposed to be arrested. And not that anyone must be above the law, but we have to be very calculative and put the interest of South Africa first. And we call upon everyone to be cool-headed. We need the cool heads now. The country needs the security forces more than ever before. And that kind of a behavior we saw yesterday, we condemn and we completely discourage. And that where there are issues, policemen and women must find each other, especially the security cluster, find each other for the sake of peace in our country.
Julius Malema takes every single opportunity he gets to point fingers at the March and March movement. He has completely shot her down, and I think at this point, he is indirectly calling for Jacinta to be investigated. Remember, Fikile Mbalula also claimed that the March and March movement is receiving outside funding. Now let's watch the final moment. President Ramaphosa just delivered the final blow. Jabulani, roll the clip.
I mean, migration is given rise to by many factors. Some people run from their own countries because they are in danger, there's conflict and there's instability, and some become economic migrants. They come to a place where they think that it's an economic oasis, and so they will come. Now we are saying those who are not documented, those who do not have the proper permits and papers to be here, should not be here. So that's precisely the stance we've taken. And we've now gone to employers. Employers who employ undocumented migrants are the ones that were putting a lot of pressure. Our peers and those that I've spoken to, and my envoys are going to be leaving in the next few days. My peers, either on the phone or interacting directly with them, they all say, we understand the challenges that you are going through. And they say, we understand that people from the rest of the continent have thronged to South Africa because they see South Africa as an economic oasis. You are the most developed country on the continent, and therefore you are attractive. Just like many other people from Latin America, they throng to the United States because it is the biggest economy in the world. So that's how people tend to operate. We are, however, saying, and they understand this, we say, we want people who are only documented to be in the country. Those who are not documented should not be here. And they should regularize their own situation. They come into the country on a need and documented basis. So they understand that. And of course, we regret the injuries and the death of those who have been most unfortunate to be caught in the situations that they get in. And we pay our condolences. And that message is well understood. And some of them even say, we support you in what you're doing. So our work is tough. It's cut out for us, but we are going to continue ensuring that we bring law and order in our country, and documented people, yes, can do work here, but those who are not documented, we're putting pressure on employers to make sure that those...
My final point is March on March. I was saying that there's something very specific in starting an organization, which is different to starting a service delivery protest. You have to have resources and be organized, buses, T-shirts, and all those things. So they call themselves, they're dealing with illegal immigration. That particular xenophobic movement, because they are resolving the problem amongst Africans. It's a problem amongst Africans. You are resolving it by mobilizing hate. It's very possible to talk about all those issues without mobilizing hate. It's very possible to speak about the fact that we must all know who we live with. I must know who are you, because the day there's a dispute, I must be able to find you. We go to court and resolve my dispute. So no one is going to wake up and say there shouldn't be documentation. Otherwise, how could we plan a country? How would we budget? We need to budget and all those things. But this is why the true name for it is called lumpen radicalism. I'll give you the most dramatic example. You see the spaza shops of Ethiopians, Pakistanis, and Bangladesh. I think it's very small, but let's say that. They are not in town, far away. They are not in complexes per se. Where are they? In your garages. Who opened the door of the garage for the Ethiopian to have a spaza shop? Who takes rent? Then you leave the house and go march. How did you come to the agreement? How do they pay you such that they are engaged in this illegality? And did you say, are you documented? Did you ask those questions? That's the phenomena of let's chase the spaza shops out. But it's a mutual economy. They're not freestanding. They are your business transactions. They are your business. They are in the community. You are the landlords. I mean, if you were to calculate how far Ethiopia is, or how far Pakistan is, it's not possible that they can be in your garage. Your garage. Does it make sense? So the conversation has to be a bit more responsible, a bit more honest. So the tenderpreneurs are your uncles, they're the ones that hire in the construction sites. It's not just the white people. It's not just in the farms. It's the Zimbabweans and the Mozambicans. And those two categories of people have been working in South Africa for over 200 years. But what do we want to resolve? Because we mustn't lie to each other. What is the conversation? Why is a man on a horse in Durban, in Zulu attire, chasing what? The spaza shop that he's left in the township in his garage. That takes rent from you rent your garage out. So what is the problem? We must be able to define it without inviting hate. What are we trying to resolve? Amongst the poor, that there should be peace among the poor, that there must be peace among Africans in particular. But if we do not name the problems properly, that's why today you will say Amashanga. Tomorrow you say South Africans. Tomorrow, you understand, none of that. So these are lumpen radicals preying on the desperate emotions of South Africans that are living in an economy that is increasingly heavy. But the most embarrassing, obviously, is the absence of the state. Yeah. I mean, it just tells you there's no state in South Africa, and we've got to do something about that at some point.
President Ramaphosa is finally listening to the public. He now realizes that the cries of the people must take priority. But for each of her critics, Jacinta has a response. Let's watch as she hits back at every single one of them. Jabulani, play the clip.
That said that they no longer want to live with illegal immigrants, which is well within their rights. Because remember, it's the government that has a law that we're not allowed to be aiding or abetting illegal immigrants. We're not supposed to be giving them a place to stay. This is the law that government put into place. They can't turn around now and make it the community's fault when they're saying that we are implementing the law as per your instructions. You said we're not allowed to live with illegal immigrants and they must be deported. So the community is not wrong. And also, if there's refugees and asylum seekers, which I know is usually the cover-up for a lot of people who are coming into South Africa, then those refugees and asylum seekers must be the responsibility of government, not the community. Because we've been saying as much and much all along that other nations are not crazy for saying that there must be refugee camps when there's people who are refugees, because it allows them to get the services that they need to be getting in the same place together at the same time, integrating with their communities and not coming into communities where there's a shortage already of hospitals, schools, beds, pills, medications, resources, because then the burden doesn't become that of the government. It becomes the burden of this particular community that's housing them, and that is not fair.
Do you feel as if the organization is being used as a scapegoat? And I ask you this because initially they had mentioned that they were fleeing due to threats and intimidation. South African officials stating that they've now discovered through the verification process that they're actually leaving on a voluntary basis, and that's the majority of them that are here.
Look, I think it's easy for us to scapegoat because we're the ones at the forefront speaking on behalf of the issue. You know, so anyone who chooses to make us the xenophobia, the perfect picture of this xenophobia, already has the perfect picture, and that's Jacinta. But from what I've always said, I don't remember once advocating for violence. There's never been a time where I've advocated for cruelty. All we've ever said as March and March is that there's the laws in place in this country, and the laws need to be enforced and implemented. And when we go out there and we do operations with the police, mind you, we exercise our rights as the rights that we know. And if you can go back to all our interviews as March and March, whether talking about hospitals or clinics or access to schools, etc., it's in reference to the law. But now, there's two issues here at play. There's a general issue of crime in the country that people are now trying to forget and pretend as if I suffer a crime because of a normal South African and I'm a foreigner, that's because of March and March, which is absolutely ridiculous, because you can't say it's our fault that you're suffering something that we've never advocated for, that we've never done. That's not who we are, and that's not what we represent. And all of those people that are out there trying to make March and March these absolutely cruel people, we are the same people standing here today offering these Malawians an opportunity to use South Africans as a voice to voice out their own concerns to their governments. Because that's the only way Africa will survive, is if Malawians living in Malawi are doing well, is if Zimbabweans in Zimbabwe are doing well. Because otherwise South Africa is going to be carrying the burden of every single failed and useless African president or politician. And we can't have that, because we also deserve good things and nice things in our country. You can't say we must sacrifice them because Malawian government is treating their people like this. It's not fair. We can't solve every single country's problems. It's not practical.
Just two more from me. One, do you feel as if our resources as a country are being or continue to be used, and I'm not sure if I'm stating this correctly, but these are South African buses. I want to get your reaction to that, and you correct me if I'm wrong with the second one. We're hearing that the buses were funded, or the funding has been given by the Malawian government. Your reaction to those two things?
I think the Malawian government is doing what they should be doing. And on top of that, I think it's time that they also monitor the movement of their people outside, coming outside to South Africa. Because they can't just be allowing their country to be brought into disrepute like this by their own citizens saying they're escaping them. Because it also doesn't make the Malawian government look good. You know, to have to bring out the officials to come here, that's another cost to them. So manage migration from your country first. No matter what's going on in South Africa, we must also take our responsibility on that part. But I feel like when you're talking about expenses, this whole process is expensive. This entire process of illegal immigration is a process, is a very expensive process. And I think that really African leaders need to sit down with each other, and they really need to be honest with each other instead of rolling out red carpets for themselves about the citizens of their countries. Are they using the resources that each African country has? Because we're rich in minerals. Are they using those resources to empower their people? Or is it just about being in power and looking good between each other? Because if that's how it's going, then we're never going to get out of poverty as Africa at all.
A last one on my side. We've done our part, I'd say, as a country in terms of repatriation, and of course the aid continues at this point. But you're talking about managing migration. How does the country actually do that? And there I'm referring to ensuring that these people that are going home don't come back illegally.
I think the current process is to ensure that, because I saw from the repatriation in Nigeria, all of them were banned since they were in the country legally. And I hope that we'll apply the same here. ban everyone who's entering the country illegally, and they shouldn't be able to come back, because that is unfortunately an abuse of system. And I mean, sometimes we have the poorest of poor people in South Africa here, but the option is not to fly to another country and go and tell that country your poverty story. Your greatest responsibility as a civilian is to fix your own country. Take responsibility. If it means they vote differently, they vote differently. If it means they go to the streets, they do that. But I think that's one of the steps that they can take. Second to that, they need to make sure that this passport issue, where people are thinking that a passport warrants them coming into the country and staying into the country legally and getting jobs and what, is not fair. We need to have an explanation of what a passport means when you're coming into another country, and when you break your passport entrance terms, how it can be detrimental to you for coming back in the future. So we need to make sure that our country's laws are respected, not just by South Africans, but also everyone that is coming into the country and staying in the country.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.